What's going on, everyone? We have another day of not much because we're still waiting on packages. Also, they sent me the wrong barbs. I needed more of these 90-degree elbows, and they sent me straight ones. I don't know why you'd need a straight double barb of the same size, but hey, that's what they sent me. So I had to return that, and I actually should already be getting the replacement ones today, but that doesn't matter because the last couple things we need, like the plug here, fan filter and whatnot, which should have also been here today, did not show up. One thing we did get in today are these clear ABXY buttons I found. It looks like someone had custom made them, but they're very cool. So today we can at least deal with our controller for R2D2. And speaking of R2D2, I am still waiting on that hard drive. It did finally clear customs. It is in New York, so it's in the country. Otherwise, that's pretty much the last thing we need to tidy this guy up finally and get it listed. I was hoping to at least deal with our capacitor situation on the GTA 5 build, and I did start to film it. However, one, it looks like these caps were already replaced on the board I was taking them off of, and whoever put them in bent all of the legs down, which just made it so much more difficult having to bend those straight back up to get all of the solder off. See, we started over here, and then my soldering iron started giving up on me. I already decided to go ahead and order a set of, oh, there's still flux on there, actual just new capacitors to throw on the board we have here, which is our great working board with all the horrible leaky capacitors all the way around the CPU. I believe there's like 12 of them that are bad. But yeah, regardless, ordering a soldering iron, ordering other stuff, I'm still waiting on parts for that, so I can't even do anything with that. I should have at least put a video of me reassembling my Xbox One S. As we know, we did put it together not that long ago. It had the copper see-through radiator and the large reservoir on the back side with the black flow meter over here, and then we kind of took it somewhat apart to steal some parts off of it for our Halo 5 Xbox One S, and then figured while I was waiting on parts for that, let me throw this one back together with the blue stuff on here and try this reservoir out. I didn't think it was still going to work. As we know, that board was, I thought, pretty much trash, but it looked like some random hardware fell onto the motherboard, and that's why it wasn't booting, so it actually works totally fine now. Let's power it up real quick. Now, it is not obviously completely done. For one, I need to tighten the back seal on this flow meter, even though it looks like it's not really leaking anymore. However, it is all working. What I do want to do is change all the LEDs in this fan for UV. We obviously have a bunch of really random fittings, whatever I had left to make this loop complete. I want to get another temperature display and see if we can have it behind the flow meter and see if you can still read it through there. And apart from that, I do like the rest of the blue. I may still do a different top panel just because this one has holes already from the other reservoirs and temperature display that was in there. But again, I would have to order that stuff and it wouldn't be here today, so we can't do this one today. So what are we doing today? As I said, we do have these clear buttons here. I did mention in the past actually changing up this controller because basically the way this one is, I really want this one for Kenobi, especially with the Millennium Falcon in here. I just think that's going to match better, and I really like the idea of having the controllers kind of be the inverse of the actual system. So obviously we're going to have the clear blue shell for Kenobi, so I want to have mostly clear white with blue accents on the controller, and vice versa on R2D2, which is mostly clear and white with some blue accents, so we're going to use the mostly blue controller with some clear and white accents on the buttons. Just like Vader here, which is mostly black with red accents, and our controller is the opposite. We've also got another set of white buttons to kind of mix in with that, even though we'll probably swap pretty much all the white stuff, and I want to keep, I only have one blue thumbstick left, but we want to keep the blue accents on this one, since there's not much else blue on here. And since this one is all blue faceplate, the accents will be clear and whatnot. First thing I'm going to do with these buttons is a couple of them seem to have a couple burrs on them, or just from when they were either printed or cut out. So like the Y and the X button are a little too snug. We'll have to kind of sand those off a little bit so that they fit in there just like the A and B buttons without any resistance. And real quick, once we get that controller finished, I do today sort of want to grab another shell and see if we can get one to match this faceplate and kind of do a full Galaxy shell theme. And I have no use for it, but if somebody's interested in it, we'll probably sell it, or you can send in your system, we can throw it on there, put some other stuff, LEDs or whatever, I don't know. We just took our metal file and got rid of some of the burrs on the X and Y button, and as you can see, they now sit all the way in there. All the buttons are nice and loose in there, but still snug. So let's move forward. I also have this controller here I threw together like a week ago, just with my dummy Xbox board, one that's kind of destroyed. It has two bad thumbsticks, bad trigger, all kinds of stuff. So I just kind of threw it together with leftover parts I had, but we're going to use the board from this one to at least throw together both of these. Even if this one's garbage, once we get some more controllers in, we'll actually put the good one in here. But yeah, for now, let's get these two taken apart and kind of decide which buttons are going where. Moving along here, I decided to add a little bit more chrome. We're going to use the chrome back shell on this one. So we've got a chrome D-pad, the regular guide button, and I found a chrome A button. So we swapped that out, and we'll probably use that clear A on the other controller. And then here we've got our white thumbsticks. We're going to leave the blue LEDs that are already on the rocker motors there, and the white triggers. We took the blue ones off. We want to keep as much of the blue as possible for the other controller. Before we finish putting this together, I do like the chrome, but I think going with the white D-pad is just going to be so much better. And even the A button, I think we'll take the white A off of that one and put this one here just to kind of tie that in a little bit. So it's kind of like a white U shape right here. And then we can either use the chrome or clear one on here. I think either one will be fine. I do like the clear A button, so I think we'll go that route. I think this looks a lot cleaner there. The white. Still got a little bit of chrome obviously there, and even through a chrome sync button I found on there. Final product here. Now I do not have any white battery packs. I have a whole bunch of black ones. I've got this silver one that only really fits nicely on this silver back here, but I want to use the silver one on here, and I want the blue battery pack to be on here as well. So this one I want it to be white, and like I said, I just don't have any. Once I get some more controllers picked up, hopefully we get a white one that has a nice clean battery pack. And yeah, so picture that being white to match all the other white accents. And yeah, super cool. Now let's move on to this one here. It's pretty much ready to go. We've got everything, all the buttons, the same color we want them to be. I'm not going to change out the D-pad or anything. We're going to leave it white. Don't have any blue ones. We need to put the blue triggers and the analog sticks on our board here and at least get this thrown together to look at. Got that stuff on. Board is in. Rocker motors from the dummy board that don't even have connectors on them. Back piece on. Super cool. Got the blue battery pack on there. I am missing a screw. This does need to be cleaned up a little bit, but this is pretty much what this will look like for the Kenobi build. Now I do plan on actually getting one of the Halo controllers that already has blue LEDs in there, and the board itself is actually not green, it's white, and I think that would be absolutely fantastic for this one. And obviously, once we get an actual controller, we can put stuff on that has rocker motors with actual plugs on it. We'll also put the same blue LEDs here, same spots. We get that effect with the blue flame basically coming off of the Millennium Falcon there. And this one obviously already has the blue LEDs in it. It's not going to shine through here, but you'll still see it come through around this section here. Okay, we dug through our shells. We're going to use this one. I only have a few HDMI shells left, but we've got a black one and a white one, and then this one here, which has lots of stickers on it we need to take off. We've got to get the rubber feet off of here and probably give this a good sanding. There's lots of good marks and stuff on this one. You need to get all the stickers off of this side as well. Looks like this was a 2009 911. And a GameStop sticker, that's not good. But that's okay, it's just a shell. So let's get this cleaned up, prep for paint. And we want this to go along with our color shifting faceplate here. Now obviously I will have to still change some stuff here. I painted over the infrared sensor, which is not a problem. There's lots of hair on it. And the USB door technically doesn't work. It's just taped closed. We'll see if we can throw a spring back in there, hopefully. And, oh yeah, there's no memory card doors at all in this one. Stickers removed there and the rubber feet. These things are ready to get cleaned up and sanded. And before we even do that, why don't we go ahead and cut out some sort of window here. That way, unlike the Grand Theft Auto 5 build where we do a full paint job and then end up cutting a window afterwards. So for some reason, I thought it'd be fun to drill like 200 holes inside instead of cutting a window. Kind of have like a star effect. I even put the little dipper in there. There goes my camera again. But it kind of got lost. So let's get this all sanded up now and start painting. Sorry about the dishwasher noise, but we got everything sanded with 180 just to get all the bigger scuffs out and everything, especially all the burrs on the holes we drilled. Now there's still a lot of the smaller holes that have little burrs on the inside, so we'll have to get some sort of little pokey tool and get those out, and then we'll go over everything with 320. Things off, we're going to use that metallic gray left over from the Halo 5 build, and then we'll put a little bit of the diamond dust on top of that and go from there. One on the left just has one coat of that gray metallic. One on the right has a second coat with some of the diamond dust over top. You can see I didn't go crazy, but I did want it to have, you know, obviously like a galaxy effect, like stars, but not a full paint job with the diamond dust like we did on the Halo 5 left side of the shell, where it's like completely silver. So let's go ahead and put the second coat on this side and the diamond dust, and then move forward. Alright, got the purple on this side, and I just like the faceplate, sprayed it from this angle so it is lighter as it goes across. It'll be harder to see in there, but from this side it's more silver, this side it's definitely purple. I haven't done this side yet, mostly because I don't think I can get any of that blue out of that can. There's like nothing left, which is fine if I need to go get some, because I also will need some more clear coat for sure. But also on this side, I might not go quite as heavy as I did on this one. I don't mind if this stays kind of a dark gray silver mostly. We'll make kind of a RGB light kit to go behind this. Need the top coat to cure, and then we can back all these holes with some plexiglass. And we're going to take one of the junk boards to use as a template while we let this stuff cure a little bit more before handling it and putting some windows on there. Let's go ahead and take one of these boards, probably this one here, and just get it ready to assemble this whole thing so we can see what it looks like all together, and we'll probably just sell it that way. Looks like I was able to get the soldering iron hot enough to at least get those done there. So I'm going to solder this 3-pin into this DVD cable. I'll include this as well, and then we're going to solder the other side of the connector to a 5-volt LED cable, and we're going to test it out because I got it out of a bin. I remember it working last time using it. I think it was in the clear slim at one point. Okay, we got a DVD drive in place, just threw a space themed sticker on there. This DVD drive is a light-on, but there is no board in it. So, yeah. But it is in there, and it will be included for parts or whatever. This will be kind of like a beginner's custom build. Put your own motherboard in there and DVD drive. Or a more difficult build. Actually try to fix this one, which good luck. But, and then we have a 3-pin connector on the DVD drive cable here that'll be included, and then this entire length of LED strip here, and you can cut it along any one of these spots here to length, but we'll try and include as much as we can. We are slowly getting all of these holes backed with sections of plexiglass without having to cut a bunch of the bracing away on here. And you can kind of see the effect that gives. See how the light on the fan is really bright through some of those holes, and then if we go over where the plexiglass is, it just diffuses the light very well. Okay, that took way longer than anticipated, but got everything covered up there. So let's throw it on and see what it looks like. This is going to be the next Tier 0 build. Got both side panels put on there. Just black top and bottom vents, actually in really good shape. We will include the black hard drive as well. It's a 60 gigabyte, and we still have to finish up the faceplate. But for now, let's go ahead and turn it on, and unlike the finicky Falcon, this one is a dead Falcon. So let's actually turn this off. There we go. See the fans go straight up to 12 volts. Got all the color changing lights, and I'll have to grab one of the remotes that go to that so you can change the settings on there. I don't know what is up with my camera. As you can see here, 3 red lights. But very cool shell. If you have your own Xbox that's just boring and you want a cool shell to throw on there, we're going to set this one up the same way as the finicky Falcon on eBay. Now let's go ahead and put the hard drive on and finish up that faceplate. I was going to throw this hard drive on there, and I was going to take the 120 out and put a smaller one in there. 60 gigabyte, I just have so many smaller than 120 gigabyte hard drives and not that many 120 and up. So I was going to swap it out. I'm glad I went to do that because, for one, this hard drive appears to be a little swollen there, and something definitely leaked in here. It was pretty hard to get the top off, and it's just all corroded in there. So we're actually going to rip this whole metal cage out of the inside. I got plenty of extras. I'm going to throw a new one on there, clean it all up, put the 60 gigabyte in there, which we have 60 gigabyte label on the top. Throw that on there, and then we'll finish up. Before I finish putting this together, I've got this one on here, no corrosion. The door's off, even though they don't quite work on here, but this door is also taped closed. I didn't want to take it off because it's painted to match, and the power button as well, even though the ring might have a little bit of paint on it. It's a big part of the effect here. You can see on this side it's now purple, blue, and then it kind of goes opposite when you go over here. Now, as I said, it's the Tier 0 build is meant to be kind of a template to either put in your own system or finish it off or do whatever. So we got a really nicely painted shell with all the holes and harder work taken care of. You could splice in your own LEDs. We've got the 3-pin 5-volt on the DVD cable, so you can even swap out your own LEDs if you want. These aren't the greatest ones, but they do get the job done. I think we may even try a like a 3-day auction on it or something like that, and hopefully by then we've got some sort of mail or packages in the mail for our other projects. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't like, comment, or subscribe.